Welcome to Tippy-Tap 3, and Murray, that
was some of the weakest ass theme music I've ever heard in my life. God, that's some limp dick shit. This is
the words I was going to use.
This is Tippy-Tap pandemic episode, and we're wasting it on some limp dick shit like that.
We don't know when we're going to release this episode, first of all, but probably during the pandemic. And two,
it's not going away.
This is a woodsman's episode. You're learning about how to survive in the woods, and of course, what's the number one fear while you're in the woods? Bigfoot.
Well, before we get ahead of ourselves, MacGyver.
Yeah.
Griff, you're the resident MacGyver expert on this show, because this is the first episode I've ever watched all the way through.
You know you watched more.
I watched the episode. You did bring back memories where I learned why he doesn't use a gun. I think you actually told me I needed to watch that episode to learn about, because I'm all about shooting people, and you're like, you need gun safety.
Yeah, you're all 2A, and then I convinced you.
I'm all about standing my ground.
Yeah.
Okay, MacGyver, I got some questions, Griff.
I'll do my best.
What's his first name again?
Okay, so this is something that they toyed around with.
I never even thought. This is how fucking little I care about MacGyver. I never even thought about the fact that we don't know his first name.
You see, for me and my MacGyver fandom, I didn't need a first name. I love that he was just Mac or MacGyver. He has a grandpa that calls him Harry, which doesn't make any sense.
Well, he's talking about his mullet.
That's a good call. But actually, it wasn't until the 7th season before there was a rumor that his name was Stacy, and that's why he didn't like talking about it, because people would say, Mac, what's your first name? And he'd be like, I don't know. So Stacy somehow went into the stratosphere, but 7th season revealed that it's Angus. I
just want to
get
think,
it.
who would look at a male child and go, Stacy?
I don't know.
Or Tracy, that's another one.
Tracy's an interesting one. I've met a lot of Tracy men, but I've never met a Stacy. Yeah, I've never met a Stacy man. But I didn't think...
I knew one.
I would think that MacGyver, being as fucking awesome as he is, would be like, yeah, whatever. I don't give a shit. It's my name.
Obviously not. He's insecure.
He's so insecure. Maybe that's why he's such a badass now, is he's leaping off that insecurity.
You say so. I never thought. I never got badass. Well, it started with that limp dick theme song.
Yeah. Angus, number 2. What do you got?
I'll as we go through. I'll
You're out of questions.
I just want to get into this episode.
You're out of questions.
No. Well, one of the. Did you mention Bigfoot's in this episode?
Yeah, I kind of did. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to talk about Bigfoot. I don't know what was in the water when I was a child in the late 70s, but we were Bigfoot crazy in the late 70s.
I have to imagine you guys were more into the wilderness. Like a lot of 70s movies are
not
wilderness.
Really? But I wasn't.
Well, I'm not talking about you specifically.
Well, I mean, I know white people love camping. You know what I'm saying? Only white people camp. Have you ever even heard of a black person saying, I can't wait to go camping?
You know, here's the funny thing. Remember our old friend Terry Foster?
Yeah.
He used to always joke with Valeni. This is like our local sports radio in Detroit. And he would always joke, and he was like, you don't see any of us up there, do you?
No, but white people. Nobody but white people camp. White people fucking love to camp.
Yeah.
What is up with it?
It's the dual house
Even
ownership.
Europeans fucking obsessed with it.
Yeah. I mean, I really like it, but it's that dual...
No interest.
I think it's that dual house ownership. Because I almost bought a house up north, and I don't even know why. I almost did. But they're so
thank
cheap.
God you came to your senses.
They're so cheap. We could have gone up there and recorded 400 podcasts.
Yeah, and they killed by a demon like Evil Dead or some shit. No thanks.
That's a good point.
Or get molested by Bigfoot.
Or molested.
We're getting back to 70s Bigfoot. So Bigfoot was big. There was Bigfoot movies. I've never seen one because I'm not interested in Bigfoot.
The Truck.
No, that was the 80s.
Oh, that was the 80s?
But it was inspired by the 70s.
Okay.
We had the classic Leonard Nimoy in Search Of episode about Bigfoot. We had the $6 Million Man met Bigfoot not once but twice. Once played by Ted Cassidy, Lurch from the Addams Family. I think he was the robot one.
Okay.
And then Andre the Giant played Bigfoot the second time.
Dude.
I don't know why people are obsessed with Bigfoot. You brought up this was also the 80s, but you brought up Harry and the Hendersons.
Yes.
What's the Bigfoot thing? Do you believe in Bigfoot? That's my question.
Oh man, I don't. I mean,
yeah, I think we would have found one by now.
Exactly. It's hard. Like listening to one of my favorite things is just find people. I believe in the people who believe in Bigfoot. I love listening to them talk about Bigfoot because they talk about him being a magical being and how we found him made and how sometimes they rape the humans and the humans have the Bigfoot babies.
What's a Bigfoot baby look like?
Just a club.
I thought you were...
straight in the ass. And
it hurts.
It hurts.
I thought you were going to say our buddy Dennis. But yeah, I don't Bigfoot mania I never got the bug for Bigfoot.
That's that's cool. I never really liked it either.
But I do love shows that talk about Bigfoot. And I guess it's back to this episode.
Yeah, good job to segue back into this episode.
That's what I do.
So MacGyver, he's an interesting character because
really?
Yes.
It must be in other episodes.
Yes.
I didn't get it from this one.
I will have to say my history with him is kind of short. It was like I watched him a little bit growing up because obviously this was on in like the mid-'80s. Nice Henry Winkler
production.
Yeah.
I noticed that in the final credits.
Yeah. The Fonz knows what he's doing. Everything he touches is gold. So I watched a little bit, but it wasn't until my early teens when I got braces on. And my mom was like, I will buy you anything you want to get over the braces period here. And so, I said, Murray? My mom's name is Murray.
Mom, Murray?
Murray? My little heart only desires one thing. And it's, I don't even know how this came out. I said, I want MacGyver Season 1 on DVD. And so we went to Best Buy and we bought MacGyver Season 1 on DVD. And I went home and I just fucking watched 6 DVD discs of MacGyver episodes, and I loved it. But here's the problem. Yeah. The writers during the first season, I don't even know about the second season, during the first season were fucking tight. The science was tight. We're only in third season, episode 4 for this episode, and this is a highly rated episode, and we'll get into it.
People are obsessed with Bigfoot.
We'll get into it. But the science clearly is taking a backseat.
Griff, who does MacGyver work for?
So I can't remember this crew. We read about it 3 minutes ago because I did not know, and I've already forgotten it. But I believe it was like the Domestic Escalation Services or something.
External something.
External, yeah. But basically, it is a secret agent crew who does nothing you would attribute to a secret agent. Then again,
he's a jack of all trades because doesn't he get into all kinds of different...
Yeah,
it's like a cop show where you're a homicide cop, yet you work every kind of crime. Like, no, you're like, Vice works Vice, drugs work drugs.
Yeah.
Homicide works homicide. Yet on TV, it's like a cop does every kind of...
Yeah, like Max, like from the first season, because this is where I can reflect on things. Like, it's like the second episode, Mac flies into a foreign country to save an American... And he has to do
Well, hey, on the first episode, is it just established he's MacGyver? There's no origin story?
There is barely any origin story. They call in MacGyver because he's the guy. Okay. He has a dual degree in like physics and chemistry. And so that's why they call him in. And he's also just like a fucking crazy woodsman. He's got a great head of hair.
I learned that from this episode. I learned he was also from Minnesota.
Yeah.
And he plays hockey, which makes total sense with the haircut.
The agility, the strength, the lower body strength, you're like, everything makes sense to me. That's all you need to know. So in the first episode, it's more of him playing into the science. That's why I say the first season is so good because it's so much science-based. So he's like doing all this shit, and you notice that in this episode, and they've done this since the beginning, MacGyver narrates some of it, too.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. So he does that in every episode.
Every episode. That's like the major thing of MacGyver because there's not a lot of reoccurring characters. There's a lot of women that come and go. Like, Pete is the only stable character.
Who's Pete again?
Pete was his chubby friend who, like, works for the secret agency with them.
His handler?
He kind of is a handler, so he's like a subcontractor to Mac.
Okay.
So despite the fact that they work at the same corporation, industry, agency...
He brings the missions to him.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like, you know who would work great for this mission? My buddy. I don't know why they needed a secret agent on the mission that we're going on today, but they did. So who cares?
Well, because he's a great woodsman, like you said.
Yeah, but still, why would you reach out to this agency for that? It was very lucky that they did, though.
Very.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into this episode.
You ready? You want to do this?
Yeah. So Mac, as you call him. I call him MacGyver. I don't know him that well.
Friends of Mac, yeah.
His mission for this episode is to leave transmitters, like map out some
unexplored
areas of Alaska.
Alaska, yeah.
So there's a 5-man team. They're all getting dropped in by chopper, and they got these transmitters, 4, and they're gonna like map, like go to the 4 corners. I don't know how's they gonna map anything out.
No, they're like even on top of each other too. So they're just kind of doing like a straight parallel line kind of.
I don't know
mapping.
what the transmitter's job is, though. I don't understand.
It reported back to them. I don't know what else there. I don't know what they're doing with this information.
It mapped out obviously a grid because we see the room, the war room, whatever it is they're in. Why are there no lights in rooms and movies?
I know.
TVs?
It's because
it always irritated me with X-Files. I mean, obviously it's because the mood they want to set is dark.
Yeah.
But like Scully's doing an autopsy, and it's like a totally dark room with just one light on
with the fucking Star Trek lighting on their faces for the dramatic effect and shit. It's like, yeah. For this, I hate that you bring this up because you're ruining the show for me. No, I didn't realize that how dark this room is, but it's so the map lights up with those Christmas bulbs. All the light, like, more just blaring in your face like MacGyver is fucking failing.
Yeah, his job is basically to make a square up in Alaska in the section he's in.
Not even doing a square. They're doing straight lines. And then ultimately the 5 guys turns into a square. Okay. Like, that's their whole mission is that, they all do straight lines, and that makes the square.
Well,
what information they get out of that?
As Griff told us, he's an expert woodsman. They drop him off. He just has, what's he got?
Dude, basically, and he's got jeans. He's got boots. He's got a little canteen, maybe 8 ounces. That's it. That's all the water he needs for. They're talking about 2 to 3 to 4 to 9-day excursion.
It was 2 days.
It was 2 days, yeah.
Question. Does he ever pull his mullet into a Nang Chen? Like pull a little rubber band?
Murray, I've yet to see him touch his own hair.
It's always flowing free?
There's been other people who look at it and say, can I touch it? And he's like, we don't need to get into that now.
I just frosted the tips.
Yeah, I just frosted these tips. Yeah, no. So, no, I've never seen anybody touch his mullet, ever. In a single episode.
So basically, he's just dropped in with clothes on his back and a Bowie knife.
That's it. That's all he needs. I mean,
because he lives off the land. We learn Pete tells he. I guess every episode, whatever credentials he needs for this episode, he rattles them off, and he's like, he's the expert woodsman.
Yeah,
it's just like growing up in Minnesota. He knows where he's going.
That's exactly Pete's job for the show, is just to explain to the other characters, because otherwise you would have Tim Murray trying to ruin the ambiance of the show by saying, how does this Joanna lady know that MacGyver could do this job? It's because Pete told her, look.
Pete's his hype man, basically.
Pete is his hype man.
He's the Flavor Flav to MacGyver's Chuck D.
Pete is the Dudikoff and MacGyver's Steve James.
Oh, okay.
Pete is just.
Now everything makes sense.
Yes, I'm glad I can make sense of it for you. So, clothes on his back. He didn't even want to wear a shirt, but Pete was like, put this fucking shirt on, MacGyver. There's also.
I don't want you to get a sunburn.
Yeah, I don't want to get a sunburn. So
Mackie goes straight to business. He doesn't fuck around. He finds the one area he's supposed to leave, the first transmitter. He taps it. It's like attached to a stake, and he taps it down in. And then he can't help but notice when he stands up, there's a fucking totem pole.
Dude, totem poles? Yeah. What's going on here?
I don't know. Some ancient Indian burial ground?
Don't worry, guys. MacGyver's narration chimes in. A totem pole. These are usually used to ward off people. Something's strange here, but I'm going to check it out. So he goes in, he's looking around, and he finds a skeleton.
It's a corpse.
Yeah, it's a corpse.
I don't know. I guess Indians can do whatever they want on their land, I guess.
That's technically true.
It doesn't seem sanitary. I think that's where coronavirus started.
I'm
blaming the natives of Alaska. It's your fault.
To calm Murray's murderous brain here, MacGyver does say, clearly this native was here to protect the land, and he'll be thrilled that I'm here on the same mission with the world technology.
How's the corpse going to help protect the land?
I don't know. That's why he died, though. He's protecting the land somehow.
I read from it is they just left the corpse there, and he was supposed to watch eternally. the land.
Maybe. But either way, MacGyver's right then, because he was saying, we're here to protect the land. He was here to protect the land. So we're doing God's work here. So after he brushes his brow, we go back to Pete and Joanna, who are looking at this nice Christmas bulb map. Like Murray explained, they're in this dark-ass control room where the only light is just the glow of, like, control consoles and the map. And we see that Max still doesn't have a single light bulb up there.
And one, he put
it was during this conversation that finally lights up after Pete is like, no, MacGyver's cool. He's not all just hair and boots and knife.
Sex appeal. He's
got skills.
Got depth.
But we see the other 4 crewsmen, and they're already, like, on their 3rd fucking transmitter.
Yeah,
so
they're lapping them.
Joanna's just like, your guy's a joke. His hair is shit. Like, I tried to touch it, and he said no. I mean, come on. What's with that? So, Murray, let's cut back to Mac. And after he's planted that transmitter, we've got the encouragement of Pete on our side. We know that the spirits...
As he desecrates a corpse.
The spirits are protecting the land, is what you meant to say. Yeah. He did it. He gave it a little high five. That's all he did.
Then he searched it for money, too.
Well, he found a couple gold doubloons. I mean, you got to keep those.
Yeah.
There's no problem with that.
And then he hears this noise. Off in the distance.
Oh, my God. I've heard that before.
We've all heard it. We've all lived through the 90s. We've heard that. It sounds very disturbing.
That is disturbing.
I'm going to leave it at that. So, Mac, he just continues. He's a man on a mission. And then, but out of the corner of his eye, he knows this beautiful inlet. He sees an oil tanker just sitting out there. Dead ship. Ghost ship.
Oh, my God.
Much like the name of this episode, Ghost Ship.
Ghost Ship. I got to say, if Henry Winkler was J.K. Rowling, he would have gone back and said that MacGyver is autistic as all hell because he sees anything and he's like, "Yep, I'm distracted by that now."
Maybe he's not undiagnosed autistic.
I think he is
high functioning autistic.
In the 80s, we weren't really diagnosing, so I think
we
MacGyver
only had a Rain Man, and Rain Man was really fucked up.
MacGyver never got interested in the ladies. Clearly, if you are not interested in women as an incredibly handsome man, you're autistic.
I wouldn't say incredibly handsome, but
okay. Oh boy.
So he's like, I got to check out. He narrates.
Yes,
I have to check out this like a puzzle. I have to solve it.
Yeah, whenever I go to my friend's house, and I'm
very much an autistic person's train of thought.
Yeah, and I'm rifling through their CDs, and I notice they have an unfinished puzzle on their dining room table. Excuse me, this is MacGyver narrating. This isn't Griff talking.
If he's rifling through their CDs, he's alphabetizing them.
Yeah, exactly. He is autistic. He's alphabetizing them, but then he notices that puzzle in the corner. He's like, "Well, now I got to finish that puzzle." So of course, he sees the ship, and he's like, I got to finish this puzzle.
That ghost ship.
Yeah. So he heads down to the little beachfront, rocky shore there, and he's looking for some way to get to this ghost ship that's maybe 15 feet off the shore.
And about 6 inches deep water.
But he's got those boots.
Someone get those wet. Those some Timberlands.
There's little Timberlands. So he's like looking around, and he finds this little Skarsgård boat, a little rowboat. And he
dilapidated boat. You're right.
Yeah.
Skarsgård.
There's
it's broken in half.
Yeah. There's roughage on it, so he clears it, and he finds this big fucking claw mark down it.
He puts his hand up there, and he doesn't have Donald Trump hands. He has man hands.
Yeah.
And whoa, this is huge.
These is huge as hands.
But so we're thinking bear. It's got to be a bear.
It's got to be a bear. That's what he's thinking. That's what we're thinking.
It's logical.
But he notices the back end of the boat, like you had mentioned, is just basically gone.
Yeah, it's like chopped in half.
Yeah. So MacGyver, this is his thing, Murray. He makes things out of things.
I've got a beef with this thing, but go on.
So I kind of embellished on what he brought with him. He did have a backpack. I didn't see a tarp on this backpack or bungee cords.
Because it was neatly packed.
Yeah.
Maybe in his back pocket.
Maybe. So he uses a tarp, and he wraps the back half, just folds it over, and then uses some bungee cords to hold it in place. And then he gets in the front of the boat, so the back end is tipped up.
Yeah, this is bullshit. He bungee cords it, and that's going to make it watertight.
Yeah.
But then again, like we said, it's like 2 inches of water, so he's just scraping along.
He does make his own row. How did you feel about the paddle? Oar, excuse me.
Yeah, he finds a stick, a long stick with like a Y shape at the end, and he has what the fuck was this? Like a cock sock or something? He just like a windsock. He just finds that and puts it on the end of the branch, and then bingo,
boom, he's ready to go.
So he's just scraping along that stand bar that this tanker's stuck on.
He's yelling into the boat, hello, and the tanker there. And he hops up there, and he's walking around, and, like, we've seen fights on tankers. We know these are close-quarter combat.
Well, where are tankers at usually, Griff, when they're not at sea?
Oh, my God. They're in the docks.
Right.
God damn it.
And this one's not at docks, but it's not out to sea
This is in Forrest Taft territory, Alaska.
Yeah.
So I have to imagine there's no danger present because Forrest Taft keep these forests safe.
That skeleton was the guy that was couldn't see the forest for the trees?
I hate you. And yes, I do. Yeah. I absolutely
You'll need to go back and listen to our On Deadly Ground. Is that the movie called?
On Deadly Ground
episode to get that one.
Yeah.
But you should. It's a winner.
Oh, my God. You should watch that movie. It's wonderful.
So, yeah, go back. He's on the tanker.
So he gets on the tanker. He's walking around, and we're getting a little bit of that spooky feeling. Then finally, the audience gets a cut of an interior shot looking out at MacGyver. Oh, something's on here. MacGyver doesn't know it, so he's like opens a door and he steps into it, and the door slams behind him, and we all jump scared.
We're all thinking this is a haunted ghost ship, just like the title of the episode.
Yeah, it's got to be a haunted ghost ship.
Like my sister would think that if the door slams shut, it must be a ghost.
It's got to be a ghost. But it isn't. Mac just continues inward. And
he goes out and looks. Like,
he looks, nothing.
Yeah.
And then he goes inward.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to bother with all the details.
I'm just saying, I'm trying to play it up. Like, even he doesn't believe
you see his mullet raised is what you could have said. Yeah.
His mullet hackle raised.
Yeah.
But no, he's a man of science, so he's just like, must have been the wind.
Yeah, it's got to be the wind. I like how you did that. Man of science. He knows it's not a ghost. So he heads inward, and he's just kind of cruising along. He's going into the room.
Checking through the CDs of the captain.
Yeah, exactly.
Captain not there to give permission, but he doesn't give a fuck. That's okay, according to Griff.
Going through the drawers, going through all the underwears and the leggings and all of that. He's getting into everything. And it isn't until he goes into the kitchen that things start to get really interesting. Because he's looking at the newspaper. It's today's newspaper. It's like, how's today's newspaper here?
He's checking his horoscope.
Yeah, of course.
You'll meet a tall and dark stranger
who takes his coffee black. Yeah. Okay.
Back to foreshadow.
Thank you. So then Mac heads over to one of the table. He's in like the kitchen again.
Galley, I guess.
Yeah, the galley. And it's like a little diner set up. So there's a bunch of like tables and chairs. And he finds like the booth where all the cool kids hang out. And he looks down and there's a bloody fucking... It's like an iron mug. And it's been crushed in and there's blood all over it.
Yeah, somebody shoved up somebody's ass. Why is that bloody?
Yeah, and then he looks to the left of the table and he finds like the stocks and he's like, oh shit, that was down again? And he picks it up, but it's sticking to the table, and so once he peels it off, it reveals a giant bloody handprint, and he holds his giant man hand out there. And he's like, oh my God.
He said this definitely isn't Donald Trump.
What is
that hand
this?
is big, and his hands are tiny.
God, what is this?
So he's like, there's got to be some more CDs to look through. Let me investigate some more.
Yeah.
So he goes to the helm where the captain sits.
Yeah.
He says, there's some coffee there.
Yeah, there's a fresh little mug.
His eyes just light up like a wangler.
And, of course, Mac is prepared for everything, so he pulls out a little package of, like, Splenda or something, and he's pouring it into the coffee, because it's still warm.
No, you don't ruin coffee with sugar. You know why? Because it makes me crazy! And it makes Bigfoot crazy, because Bigfoot emerges.
He fucking punches through a window and blacks the coffee cup. I don't know if the glass got in there. I'd have to put in the slow motion. But he covers the coffee cup, and then he fucking jams the door open, and he's swinging.
Right, and I think MacGyver just shuts the door.
MacGyver is like thrashing around on the ground. He's like trying to get away.
But he does shut the door.
Oh, okay.
Because he improvises with a big stick.
Oh, he used the Oh, okay. I missed that.
Kind of stick that's up an ass.
Dude,
and it hurts.
A club.
Yes, it's a club.
It goes up there.
And he jams it.
Yeah.
And then he runs down down to where the guys sleep. I don't fucking know.
Dude, I don't know. He just ends up in the basement of a boat.
The cellar or the boat. You can see Pee Wee Herman's bicycles there.
Yeah.
And fucking that club might wreck an ass, but it's not going to wreck a door. So Bigfoot pushes the door open, and he's standing at the top. Oh, wait, wasn't there? He found some hair, too, didn't he?
Yeah, I mentioned it. He found
when you pick up something, do you ever, first thing you do, smell it? You know, everyone on TV and movies, they want to smell it.
Well, I mean, he is like some kind of...
Does blood smell? Because people love to dip their hands and go... Or they'll rub it between their fingers. Sometimes they'll taste it.
I think
I would never taste like a substance that's sitting on the fucking ground.
think every...
How you get coronavirus?
God damn it. I think every person who's had to interrogate a blood scene... investigate a blood scene, a murder scene, has found like a spot of blood, and they were like, that's blood, clearly. And it ends up being ketchup. So I think that's what it's always about. It's like...
Dap your finger in it.
Yeah.
Contaminate the crime scene.
Exactly.
Rub your fingers together.
Just for the chance of the possible embarrassment of it being ketchup. So they have to do it.
He found like a Bigfoot dingleberry or something that got caught on there because he's like sniffing it. Like,
yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, I did mention that. It's so foul that he's like, oh my God.
Speaking of foul, Bigfoot, top of the stairs, ready to rape. I don't know what he's ready to do.
I don't know, but he like thrashes through the captain's chamber. He finishes coffee though, very gently. And then we go back to MacGyver, who's just lurking in that basement, and he's finding Pee Wee Herman's bike, and he's noticing all the kinds of weird shit going on. Everything's up to date. Nothing is ruined, despite the fact that this is a ghost ship. And then we notice somebody shoot, in the distance, like run by in the distance.
Somebody was already looking through the CDs.
Yeah, look at the posters, I think. And MacGyver happens to run into them. He turns a corner, he runs into them. I don't even remember how it happens, but it's a woman. It's a young woman.
It's a girl.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a teenager, although she looks all of 28.
Yeah. And he's like, she's scared shitless.
She's absolutely scared shitless.
Can't speak. Traumatized. Yeah. She probably got raped by Bigfoot.
That might have been what happened.
Had the look of a face. Got raped
or at least saw Bigfoot rape somebody.
That's even worse.
That is even worse. I believe she has a... Never mind, that's foreshadow.
She's just disheveled, dirty, traumatized.
So Mac is like, look, you're human. We got to get out of here. There's something unhuman on here. And so they shoot right back up to dockside, and they fucking...
even though he's never been on an oiler before, he studied the blueprint one time in his life, has it all mapped out, so he knows how to get away from Bigfoot.
Dude, he always knows how to get away.
So he gets to the side. He's like, trust me, this is 6 inches of water. We can jump. They dive. Unfortunately, she breaks one of her legs. No.
Yeah.
They dive in. They swim away. Bigfoot can't swim. We all know Bigfoots can't swim.
Yeah.
So he's just like...
Of course, he goes full Donkey Kong and starts throwing fucking oil barrels at them.
I remember that. Yeah, straight up Donkey Kong. But he misses because he's not Donkey Kong. He's in Bigfoot.
So Mac gets back to land with this woman, and she immediately is like, "Pervert! I'm gonna run. I see that mullet. I know what that means. You're one of these weird sexual guys." He tackles her, and he's like, "I'm not one of those weird sexual guys. It's okay. I'm gonna lead you to safety. If you want to live, follow me." And I don't know.
He tries. He's like, maybe she doesn't know English.
Yeah.
So he's like, "Parlez-vous français?" Katana. He's speaking all these languages, and she's not responding.
So we're going to cut in, little tension break, little commercial break here. We're going to go back to Joanna and Pete at the control center, and their fucking dark-ass control center. And the room's getting a little brighter because those other adventurers, they've got like their fourth fucking...
Well, yeah, another light goes off. And she's like, "Whoop, there's another light." He's like, "Is it from MacGyver? Is it MacGyver?" She's like, No, Pete, your loser fucking friend has only got one still. What am I paying this guy for? I thought he was the best. Trust me, he is the best.
I saw that he had a fishing rod. He's probably all fucking fishing on my dime.
Why would you be doing that?
Why?
And he's like, no. He does have a fishing rod because he has everything. He's MacGyver.
You saw what he went out there with. He lives on the land. He lives on the land. Pete is really sticking his neck out right here. That's what we're trying to convey here,
right.
Guys.
Well, he's got his 15% commission he's got to earn. So he's just like,
he is his agent.
Yeah.
Pete is Mac's agent. So Mac, of course, is still, of course, trying to talk to this woman. They're going through the trails of the Alaskan forest, and it's all beautiful. It's all scenery. It's a great set they're working with here. It's wonderful.
He's like, I know what I'll do. I'll do the old tap of some water trick.
Oh, my God. Bronson used to do this one. Murray, what's the water tap trick?
I don't know. He just sticks he has a straw for some reason. What?
It was a tent pole.
It was a tent pole. I
Yeah.
thought it was a piece of bamboo. It was a tent pole.
Yeah.
And he just sticks it in the ground, and then water shoots out.
So
he goes, "It's the bubbling crude."
And he's like, "Are you thirsty?" I think I'm a little thirsty.
And then I'm kind of starting to buy into this guy's a genius. And then he just cups his hands. It's like it's very wasteful. You should just put your mouth right at the end of the straw.
Yeah, it's a straw.
But he cups his hands. He's lapping like a dog.
Does he want to see that the water's crystal clear? Is that his thing?
I think it would taste nasty to stuck into a fucking dirt pile.
Yeah, I'm sure it did. So.
And she's like, she doesn't say anything. She just starts sucking on that straw, going down on it.
Oh my God! Calm down. Calm down, lady.
And he's like, he's like rubbing his nipples, watching it. And so,
do not sexualize MacGyver, Murray.
You're right. This guy's never had sex. So he's like, well, we finally bonded over dirt water.
Not words, but dirt water.
So we cut tonight.
We're going to cut No, we're not. Because before we cut tonight, we have to cut to our tanker.
Oh.
And our man Bigfoot has stepped off that tanker.
Oh, yeah.
Into that deep 40-centimeter water. See what I did there? I had to save myself because it's about 6 inches, and I think that's about 40 centimeters.
Sure. And, we noticed he's not wet, so you're right. It's just 6 inches of water, or 40 centimeters, as you said.
Yeah.
And I couldn't help but notice, you can see definitely the edge of the Bigfoot boot that this actor is wearing, but I'm into this. That's another story. I'm like, that's Bigfoot.
Yeah. You're like, Henry, I love your story so much. And
you just hear a mournful, ooh, ka, ka, ka.
Ooh, ka. And then we cut to a campfire. Max got the fire. He's an outdoorsman. He knows how to start a fire.
He's for woodsman, according to Pete.
He's got a fucking nice little makeshift tarp thing on.
Got a lean-to.
So much good stuff going on here. And he's still trying to communicate with this woman, and so he's like, "Are you a Ruski? We destroyed you,
a commie motherfucker,
and
bitch.
The
Are you, bitch?
Yeah.
Are you?"
And
she's
got a little kind of winces at him, like, "Fuck you! You guys barely beat us in the Olympics, you know."
And he's like, "Yeah, but Rocky beat Drago, didn't he, bitch?" He's just really hostile. I guess this guy doesn't get laid enough.
Yeah.
Hates women. He's an incel. Maybe he's an incel. He's not autistic.
No, Murray, come on. Stop doing this to MacGyver.
He hates women.
No.
I approve it by he speaks some Russian to her.
Yeah.
And he calls her a bitch in Russian.
Yeah.
And then she goes, I get the point. You hate women. But I'm not fucking you. But I'll tell you my life story. My papa came to
Hey, Murray, before we go to the story, what's her name?
Karen Gra. It was something very non-Russian sounding. It was like Karen Granberry. And she's like, my papa came to Juno? Yes. First of all, she's an illegal alien. Fuck this bitch.
Yeah.
But she's like, my mom's dead. I don't remember. But she stowed away on this oil tanker with her cousin, I think it was.
Alexander.
And it was horrible. We stowed away on this thing, and then there was what happened? Like a monster attack? Like, well, I don't get this.
So it was the crew that
they stopped for some reason in this little inlet in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. Well,
probably get stuck on a sandbar because, like we said, it's only 6 inches of water.
Yeah, this tanker has absolutely no right being here. But, we'll get to that. But, who knows why they're here?
Well, the monster attacked and killed Alexander, and she barely... Well, she didn't escape. She was still on that fucking oil tank.
And, Murray, I will give you this one. You mentioned that she's probably completely frightened because she did see Alexander get raped by Bigfoot.
To death, man.
Yeah,
That's rough.
To death. I mean, that's like a broom going
That's
up a butthole.
No, it's like a club, and it
Oh,
hurts.
oh, yeah, you're right. It is a club.
And they found a way to get it out.
Yeah.
And it was not pleasant.
It wasn't pleasant.
But she's like, and your mullet, my father was on USSR hockey team, lost in 1980. You remember that team? Fuck yeah, I did. We kicked their ass. He had mullet like you. You remind me of my dad. And then you pointed out.
Oh, my God. Mac is so obsessed with this. He gets the biggest grin on his face. He's like, I remind you of your father? And he is just brimming ear to ear, man.
And just as we're like all sharing in that moment, hey, who's out there? Dun! Commercial break.
That was a good commercial break, though. You got to give it to Henry on that one.
So
that was a good break.
We come back from commercial break, unlike the break we just did.
I love it.
And we come back from that commercial break, guys. It's them fucking Inuits, those Indians, natives. I don't know what they're called anymore. Native Americans.
Let's just go with native.
Indigenous people.
I like to just say natives.
Indigenous people.
Okay, indigenous people.
And they're like, hello there.
Of course, they got a gun, but they're like, don't be afraid of us.
We're just checking our traps that we set.
Yeah.
And we've noticed that they're missing. I mean, I don't want to kill the surprise. I know everyone's going to be shocked by this ending, but I'll get back to it. Remind me of this scene because about the taking the animals out of the traps.
Yeah, the traps.
Because and then like you seen anything? And he's like, well, MacGyver's like, I saw this hairy beast man creature.
Yeah, giant.
And then
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar size.
And Grandpa is like, Sasquatch. And then I'm shocked that he didn't know whatever this language was because he knew 5 other languages.
He's a man of the world.
He knows Sasquatch.
He knows like 8 languages.
He loved that In Search Of episode about Bigfoot, so he knew Sasquatch.
I believe that.
And he's just like, you mean the Shaggy Man, the mythical creature? And the natives are like, no, he's for real, man.
He is for real.
He's probably been taking our game.
Our game, yeah. He plagues our land. He's taken over. So they agree. They're all cool now. Right. They've had
Well, she's not cool with him, but
yeah, they probably smoked a little of the peace pipe, and so they're all calm enough to go to sleep for the night.
Grandpa had some primo weed. He's just like, God, yeah. I grow this shit.
Oh my God.
I call it the Bigfoot strain. It's just like that. You probably. He's like, oh yeah, this smells like that hair that I smell.
Oh yeah. Oh shit! I probably found some hair. Oh, okay.
That was weed. I thought it was some nasty ass hair.
Oh, it makes sense.
But so yeah, they get high as fuck and they just fucking
go to sleep.
Yeah. Well, MacGyver somehow fashioned Doritos and some Oreos. So they were like munchies.
I'm glad you bring this up because we're already like 30 minutes into a 42-minute episode, and MacGyver has made, quote unquote, 2 things: a straw into dirt for water, and
that's a lot more than I could.
A bullshit boat for 6-inch water. This is why I stopped watching after like the first season.
I can just imagine how what a hassle it was. Like, hey, I got a gig for you. It's from MacGyver. Ugh, so I got to come up with some bullshit like scenario where he's gonna make something.
Yeah, I don't want to be that creative.
It's like having to write for the A-Team. I got to come up with some reason where a car jumps and explodes.
And I love this. I honestly read this like an hour ago because you said, "Wait, who's Pete? Why is Pete involved? What does MacGyver do?" And I was reading about it, and I was telling Murray, "Oh shit! It looks like MacGyver saved Pete in like the late 70s by using a paperclip, a like a piece of chewed bubble gum, and a wrench." And I was like, the wrench.
We don't know what he saved him from, but yeah, he saved him with that.
And that's how we got involved with the agency he's working for. That's the kind of shit you expect MacGyver to do, not put straw into dirt. And so he's done nothing so far.
Well, he's out in the wilderness. What else can he do besides make Doritos and Oreos?
Well, he can wake up.
So they all pass out from the weed. It's really good. And when they wake up in the morning, the fucking natives are gone.
They're just gone. And
then immediately Karen's checking her wallet, which is really tasteful.
Yeah, come on, Karen.
And MacGyver's like, it's cool. And he's like, where did they go? He's like, well, I don't know, but if they left on foot, we must be near some kind of civilization. Which then, if they are, why the fuck are we like mapping out this area if people are already living here?
I know. They have helicopters. They have everything.
It's classic.
Else.
Like, no, us white men, we discovered it first. Like, these people have been living here for like fucking hundreds of years. And it's like,
okay,
no, we discovered it.
I will tip the hat to you on that one, because MacGyver does say in his open narration, there's this undiscovered part of land. No, it's not undiscovered. There's a tanker here. There's fucking natives all over the place. You guys are just
there's Bigfoot. There's anything.
You're doing your normal white man bullshit. But, Murray, we got to go check out that control room again.
Yeah, I mean, the Secretary of the Department of the Interior, the Secretary to the Minister of the Department of the Interior
thank you.
is furious. She's like, it's been a day and there's only one fucking tracker. What the fuck, Pete? What am I paying you for?
You told MacGyver was packing 4 inches from the ground. This man clearly has no dick. He's a dickless man. He stole my money. He's probably...
He's a thief, and I'm going to have the cops arrest you. Pete's sweating. He's
you
like,
want some coffee? I put a lot of sugar in it.
He's like, that piece of shit, MacGyver. He's fishing, isn't he?
Ugh.
Pete,
God damn it.
Speechless. Much like Karen earlier, speechless. Maybe she speaks to him in Russian. Something will come out.
Maybe.
Well, so while they're stumbling around... once again... This is this undiscovered country with a fucking pipeline going through it.
I know, a fucking oil pipeline.
Oh, my God. And we see these guys, these American guys, and one dirty, stinking Brit. So you know something. There's a reason why Brits always play Nazis in movies, because they're evil.
They're evil.
We love you, Stuart, but you know it's true. So yeah, he's got the mustache. I think he's wearing a beret. He's like he's fucking with our stereotypes. He's like, is he French? Is he fucking British?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like him.
He's looking like he's dressed up like he thinks an explorer should look like.
Yeah, he's definitely the brains of the group, though. We
Yeah.
got 2 dumb American thugs just fucking with that pipeline. And she's like, what are they doing? MacGyver's like, those motherfuckers are going to steal fucking oil.
Oh, no, MacGyver thinks that they're good guys. He's immediately like, oh, they're just a crew working on a pipe. I'm going to go say hi. And Karen is like, no, you cannot. This is Russian, by the way.
You're right. Yeah, she's like, yeah, those are the guys from the oil tanker.
Yeah. They're screaming, by the way, in the middle of the woods.
All right, they're 5 feet away from these guys.
Yeah.
He's got like a palm frond in front of them.
But
they're so intent on that black gold, that Texas tea, they don't care.
Yeah. And she's like, that is the mutinous crew from the pipeline. They're the ones that help the monster, kill people on the tanker.
So they're the monster's henchmen.
Yeah.
This is one evil monster.
Well, they're into the Bigfoot cult. Bigfoot.
So, yeah, right. So MacGyver's like, look, I got a plan. Just shut the fuck up. That's all you gotta do. Shut the fuck up.
And just stay here. Make yourself scarce.
Immediately, she's found.
Yeah. He walks 5 feet away. She gets caught and captured and screams. And he's like, oh, shit.
Well, he made a predator-like camouflage cloak out of a paperclip, chewing gum.
and a couple leaves.
Yeah, a couple leaves.
Well, so he realized that she's been captured. He gets a glimpse of her from a safe distance, and he's like, shit. Well, I know exactly where that guy's heading, because they wanted to take her back to the tanker.
Right.
And I think murder her.
Yes, because one of the Americans is like, we gotta kill her. It's a little girl. What are we gonna kill her for?
Yeah.
British like, fuck that whore.
Yeah.
So MacGyver's like, I can't let that happen. I'm like a father to her.
Yeah.
I remind her of her father, who played on the 1980 Olympic team that lost to America.
Naturally.
Do you believe in miracles?
He licks his finger. He tests
I believe in miracles.
He figures out which way the wind's blowing. He's like, okay, the tanker's that way. So he heads downhill.
Much like a little junior
from
our last episode, Escape from the Bronx.
Oh, very nice.
He sets he gets the fishing line out, sets his tripwire.
We've been hearing about this fishing rod for fucking... Oh, Joanna has been grilling Pete about it.
He pulled it out of his ass. Where did it come from? It's like this long-ass fishing rod.
Well, again, it was...
Was it a pocket fishing rod?
You know what?
A pocket fishing rod?
I think I was lying. I think when I said those were tent poles, what I meant were they were fishing poles.
Oh, sure.
I think that's what it was. And so, yeah, he pulls out his fishing poles and he pulls out his fishing reel.
Yes.
And they're not attached. So he uses the reel and it creates, I want to call it a tripwire, but it's not so much tripwire as it is a face wire.
Well, it is a tripwire in a way. It's letting you know when to release the true hell on Earth.
That's a good point.
Because he he finds a little notch, but head high, in a tree.
Thankfully, he knew how tall this man was.
Yes.
Because,
well, you get to see, he's a chemist and a physicist.
Yeah, it's a good point.
So he puts it in about nose level.
Yeah.
And he jabs the thick end of the reed into the tree, and then he pulls it back.
Rod.
You're right. He pulls it back, and then the guy, because she's shorter than the guy, so she misses the tripwire, but he sets it off. So he's like, oh, what is this shit? And then that's his cue. Whoop. Fucking smack.
Oh, my God. The tension on that thing. That would almost take his face off.
You'd be bleeding, I guarantee you that.
Yeah. And then MacGyver comes around the corner and delivers a fucking uppercut, just cheap shot to the throat. And
he was going to kill a little girl. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, that's a good point. So he gets he obviously gets the jump on the guy. He knocks him down for a little bit. He stuns him long enough for him and Karen to get away. But obviously, the pipeline crew, they're all in. They know what's going on now. They know someone's out here with them. And they're probably trying to fuck up their whole, pipe crew, oil stealing shit. Because that's what they're doing, is they're stealing oil.
Putting it in that empty oil tanker.
Yeah.
So, now we know why the oil tanker's in that little inlet. So, they leave the spot where they're siphoning off the oil.
Yeah.
So MacGyver goes, now's my chance. So he goes up to it, he opens it up, gets his 3 little trackers, pops them in there.
Yeah, he turns them on and pops them into the oil pipe.
And then he turns on the pump they're using. So the trackers go to the oil tanker. And they're noticing it because the secretary or the minister or the interior, Department of the Interior, she is like time is money. So she is watching that fucking map like a hawk, and she sees finally some movement. But they're all 3. What the fuck? That wasn't the deal.
Yeah.
And why are they moving?
Yes.
She's like, something's up. And Pete's like, I knew it!
Pete wasn't even there yet. Pete arrives. He's like, you said there was 3 lights? I told you my man could do it. 3 at the same time. MacGyver is amazing. She's like, no. He put them all together, and they all went from this spot here into this little bay right here. It's the weirdest thing. And she's like, your buddy is seriously a joke. And he's like, no, this is a warning.
Something's up.
Something is up. Where is your helicopter man?
Let's get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper.
And then he goes, give me those coordinates, bitch. And they do. And so when we cut back, everything's set. We're ready. We're just going to wait for the Pete.
Yeah, that's
Pete
all we got to do.
Show up. But Bigfoot's got other plans.
And you hear that.
And then fucking he just attacks fucking MacGyver. And he's just manhandling MacGyver, throwing around. MacGyver's punching him in the balls. It's not working.
Oh, he knows how to get his elbows up, but it doesn't matter because this is fucking Bigfoot. So Bigfoot is like punching him, throwing him like 14 feet into the distance with each blow. It's
in slow motion. We get that $6 Million Man sound effect. And we're like, holy fuck, this is it.
Clearly,
MacGyver's like, I never thought I would die getting raped by Bigfoot.
I thought this was all a trap.
I survived Nam.
I thought MacGyver was just trying to exhaust the Bigfoot.
Rope-a-doping him?
Rope-a-doping him, because Bigfoot's throwing these huge blows and everything.
Well, it turns out Bigfoot is a dope, Graf.
Oh, no.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you were ready. Hand this Bigfoot over to me, because Bigfoot thinks that he's laid out MacGyver, but like I said, MacGyver has been just rope-a-doping him. Thanks for rope-a-dope, by the way. I could never remember that one. So Bigfoot turns his back because he hears that screech of a Karen in the distance complaining to the manager. And so he turns his attention. He's like, I got to kill this bitch. Well, MacGyver, he knows all about the chokeholds. So he comes from behind and he gets Bigfoot in a headlock. But his grip is loosening. You're like, wait, no, MacGyver at the edge. This is not good. Turns out we're in a Scooby-Doo episode.
Well, no. First, we're like, he falls back, and he's like, did I just rip off Bigfoot's head? Because he's holding Bigfoot's head.
Yeah.
And then we see it's some insane P2P addicted guy with like a voice modulator going, it's the lead singer of Disturbed. And I'm disturbed.
I like your version of this story better.
It's like, what the fuck? So my rationale is, you're thinking Scooby-Doo episode where they're using a Bigfoot to scare people away. I think it was just a cosplayer who tried out P2P for the first time on a camping trip and lost his fucking mind and got lost.
You know, Murray, I love it.
Because I don't understand, like, this is so Scooby-Doo. Like, why would anybody, like, I got the greatest idea. We're going to siphon off this fucking oil, and to do it, we're going to scare people away with Bigfoot.
Bigfoot. So here's the best part: is we've seen this in
How long has he been? Did they like drop him off like weeks earlier, and he's like been laying the groundwork, like stealing the food out of the traps?
I mean, like it's barely inhabited, so maybe they just all showed up at the same time.
Well, no, it's everyone's there. The Indians live there. The people who put down the oil line. Who wrote this episode? The whole premise is MacGyver's got to be here to map this out, and like 20 million people have been through this. There's like trails.
There is. That's the part that killed me. Is like no one's been on these lands. MacGyver's walking on perfectly cut trails. So Bigfoot.
They probably filmed this in some like redwood forest in like California.
I'm sure they did. So, Bigfoot, now that his mask has been revealed, we see the P2P eyes. He's glowing. He's just like...
Sleep disturbed.
He's going
He's got those fucking things in his lip, whatever those things the guy from
the
Disturbed
plates?
had. No, he had those like hooks. He had like metal hooks.
I don't remember those, yeah.
Yeah, it was a big deal because he took them out recently.
Oh. So, anyways, so he comes charging at MacGyver, who's like on the ground right now because he got thrown off and he's just been dumbfounded by that mask. But, of course, he has a stump next to him. And as we've seen in many movies, he just lifts the stump, and Bigfoot runs right into it, and he fucking flings him over,
right.
Pole vault style.
Him, yeah.
And he throws him. And that tree limb he uses is 14 feet high, so that guy just...
And his head hits a tree, and it smashes. It's just like pulp.
Oh, my God.
He just slowly slides down. There's blood everywhere. Very graphic for a 1980s
I know. I
TV
couldn't believe.
show.
I thought the Fonz like, what are you doing with all this gore? But you know what? If Fonz
Give the
says
people what they want is what Henry Winkler says.
If the Fonz says it's cool to me.
Of course, it's cool. Hey.
So everything's cool. We hear the helicopter coming in. We hear Pete yell out, "MacGyver, are you okay?"
Right. And like, I'm all right, Pete. Fuck, you'll get your 15% cut.
But then you hear,
like, thank God he's dabbing him sweat.
Yeah, but then you hear, oh boy, hold still for a minute while I aim my rifle at you.
That evil Brit.
Oh, of course he's got a gun.
Up to shit, Brit.
He's right in the clearing, though, Murray. And you know what that leaves you vulnerable to?
No.
Helicopter attacks. Because the helicopter pilot swoops in.
Oh, right. I totally blanked out on this whole scene. You're right. So he gets hit, which will probably in real life kill you. And he gets hit by the little like landing thing.
Yeah, the landing legs. Oh my God!
And his neck is snapped and broken. They've just murdered everybody. But fortunately, they're out in the wilderness. Everyone knows ever been out there, so they can bury the bodies and no one will know.
It'd be hilarious if.
And then they set up MacGyver. He made a little Blair Witch like fetish out of it and set it there. And go, we'll blame it on the Blair Witch. And then they just fly back to their home base.
Oh my God! Oh,
so they're at the home base. The secretary of the Department of the Interior she's like, so you ready to do your job now?
Yeah.
And she's got new tracker. He's like, yeah, I'm ready to do it.
Absolutely.
And then they just hear, ooh, waka, and because they're talking about, he's like, Bigfoot.
Well, yeah, Joanna's giving him shit because they're going into the whole thing of. You should be more into this discussion, by the way, because you lived through this time apparently. But she's like, you don't actually believe in that mysticism Bigfoot bullshit, do you? Come on, you're a scientist. And Mac's like, I've seen some shit, I gotta believe. And then, the Waka Kaka hits.
And then he's like, and then you see a wet stain on the front of Mac's fucking pants.
Oh, Mac.
And then Pete jumps out with a boombox. I'm just funning you.
This is what gives it the full sell of a Scooby-Doo episode. Right. They had a whole fucking intercom system on the tanker that they that they were using to make the fucking Waka Kaka sound.
So that was probably making Karen hide and not look like, because she was just hearing that all the time. She wouldn't go leave whatever her hiding spot was on the oil tanker.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, cousin's still dead.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know what? You're not Mexican. You're an American now. They're like, she totally came to this country illegally.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm going to go live with my dad. That's okay. He's probably illegal too.
Yeah.
But they're white, so it's okay. They're not from one of those shithole countries. And so they just go, here's your car. Here's your chauffeur ride to your dad and Juno.
And just before the credit roll,
we hear.
After Joanna gets her last laugh on Mac, you hear.
The most chilling. And they look scared and fucking freeze frame. Executive producer Henry Winkler.
Ba, ba, ba.
And that wishy-washy ass theme song starts playing.
Oh,
wow.
God damn it.
How can we made that episode actually sound like it was enjoyable.
It was very enjoyable. You got to shut your fucking mouth, man. That was great. I will say the science of MacGyver went downhill very fast.
Yeah.
But it was still fun to talk about. Because it also plays into something else I love. The science of action movies. You can control a fucking elevator with a screwdriver just by jamming it in.
I've tried that. You can do that.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
You can. Sorry.
I love it.
Science is there.
So who knows what we'll do with our next Tippy-Tap. But
I'm sure it'll be another classic. We're doing Renegade. We're going to do a Renegade.
We got to do a Renegade. We actually were talking about, and what was it? Our Escape from the Bronx episode about Branscombe Richmond.
Yeah.
We got to get back into him and Renegade.
We got to get a Branscombe Richmond themed episode.
Dude, we got to do a movie and do a fucking...
so much time.
Oh,
so
man.
If we're quarantined and can't do it, send all your angry hate mail to the president. Because we're trying to get these episodes out. So, enjoy that, Tippy-Tap. Go check out this episode of MacGyver and keep it warm.
Episode 304. Take it easy.